Alrighty folks, we're gonna get after it. It is about 7 a.m. right now. Got about 3 hours out here on this lovely morning. We're gonna hit this little tiny pond that I've fished once before. I never caught anything out of it. Last time I fished it, it was clear and a little bit grassy. This time looks a little bit more grassy and a lot dirtier. So we're gonna hope that some of these fish are up shallow, just kind of wallowing around this early morning. Got a few baits with me, probably gonna tie on a popper here in a little bit, but I wanted to at least start off with some sort of a big swim bait. So we're throwing around the big wake bait right now. Gonna do a quick lap around the pond, see if we can get bit on this. If not, then well, we'll try the popper. We'll try a couple other things. I got a few rods with me today. Again, like I said, only got about 3 hours out here. I got a thing that I gotta go do in a little bit, but I figure I may as well try and get a few fish under the belt before I go be an adult. Oh, he missed it. Got him that time. That's a big one, actually. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yes, dude. Hell yeah. Oh, yes. That's a nice friggin' fish on the Hero, baby. Whoo! Oh, I think there were two fish over there. I think a little one came by and popped it, and this bigger one came over and grabbed it afterwards. That's a nice one. Hell yeah. All right, that's a decent one. I said he goes 3.5. Actually, you know what? I think I got a scale on me. May as well pop her on the scale real quick. All right, gave her a drink for a sec. Let's throw her on the scale real fast. Not a giant, but just for my own curiosity. I haven't caught a decent fish in a while, so truthfully have no idea how big this fish is. If I had to guess, it's probably right around 3, but we'll see here in just a second. I'm sure there's gonna be someone in the comments who gets mad at me for putting this fish on the scale, because that seems to happen a lot more than I'd like to say. Huh, 3.5. 340, 339, 340. Almost a 3.5-er. Nice fish, hell yeah. First one of the day. All right, appreciate you, mama. Have a good one. Catch you later. Can you find your way out of there? I'm sure she found her way out of there. All right, that was friggin' sick. Love to see that. First bite of the day. Got ourselves a nice little healthy 3.5-er out of this little pond that we're fishing. It's not a very big body of water, like I think I said in the intro, but I mean, you guys can see, this is the whole thing. It's pretty much there. It goes around this corner just a little bit, but not very much. It's a pretty small body of water. So for there to be a 3.5 in there and that to be the first fish that we catch out of here, I like that. I like it a lot. Make some more casts in this little area. This big old wake bait. See if we can't get bit again. I think there was another fish over there. I don't know if that fish hit it twice or if there's a smaller one over there. And the small one hit it first, missed it. The big one came back and popped it. Or if that big one just like popped it, missed it, came back and got it again the second time. But yeah, that was friggin' sick. Feels good to be able to get out here and catch a fish or two. See if we can find another one around here somewhere. Make some parallel casts down this bank as well. What time is it right now? 7:45. Been out here for about 45 minutes. There's a little generator next to me, so I'm sure you guys can't really hear what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna try and talk a little bit louder. But yeah, baited choice today is this little guy. This is a Hiroshima Baits or Hiroshima Lures Billrilla. It's, as you can imagine, a little two-piece billed wake bait. But this bait's actually kind of interesting and kind of sentimental to me. It is the first big bait that I ever saw, the first one that I ever considered buying at some point at least. Back in like 2016, I want to say. I was just getting into like specifically bass fishing. I'd fished a little bit here and there, but I hadn't really picked it up as a hobby too much up until that point. And right about then, I'd started following a bunch of people on Instagram and seeing a bunch of baits pop up on my Instagram suggested and stuff. And this bait popped up just randomly by the company Hiroshima Baits. I'd never seen a swim bait before. I'd never really even seen a wake bait before. I thought this thing was just like a smaller crankbait, but the more I looked into it, the more I realized that this is a really big bait, or at least really big in my eyes at that point. But for some reason, regardless of the fact that I'd never thrown a bait that's 3.5 ounces or 3 ounces or however heavy this thing is, I really wanted it, and I made a goal for myself to buy one of them at some point, never knowing that I was going to get quite so deep into swim bait fishing and spend money on much more expensive baits much more quickly. But I managed to find a Billrilla for sale, this one obviously, for sale for a pretty good price. I think I bought it for like maybe 60 bucks or something like that, so really good deal on this thing. They're usually about $100–$120 bait, so saved myself like 50%. It is a little bit beat up, a little bit used, as you guys can tell. I bought it secondhand. I've caught 6 or 7 fish on it. It might have been the 7th fish that I've caught on it. I've only thrown it around a couple of times, which is really funny. It's one of those baits that I yearned for and sought after for God knows how long, and now that I have one, I barely ever use it. But I figure we may as well try and change that today. This is kind of the perfect spot, or a perfect type of spot, to be throwing this bait out anywho. Water is super dingy out here, super murky, and this bait's got a really good thump to it. That, along with the white tail that's in it right now, should stand out in this really dirty water pretty well. Should give these fish a little something to focus on. And hopefully we'll be able to crack ourselves another one here soon. That was friggin' fun though. Alrighty, I went to the car and grabbed myself a new rod, and we have seemed to have drawn ourselves an audience, folks. I honestly doubt they're here for me, but there is not one, but 2 police officers over there in the parking lot. We got a regular one, and then also an unmarked. They're just chilling over there. The unmarked's been there for a little bit. That fully marked one just came over here a minute ago while I was tying up, but I don't know what the deal is. I'm not doing anything wrong, at least as far as I know. I'm just here fishing, so I'm gonna get myself tied up, or get myself rigged up, I should say. Gonna throw ourselves a little Texas rig around, see if we can't get bit on this little thing. That's a bite. He's got it. He missed it. Oh, there we go. There's a fish. It's a little dude. Friggin' crushed that though. Jesus Christ. Little tiny guy on the trench hog. About to rip the rod out of my hand though. Oh yeah, I got bit on the cast before this. Got myself a little tiny one. See you, buddy. Might be a little group of them up there. Throw back in that little area again, see if we can get bit one more time. Hopefully there's something a little bit bigger than that though. That was kind of sad. Alrighty folks, so I think I did say that I was going to potentially stop by the Bass Pro Shops on the way home. I ended up being like an extra hour and a half away between like the distance and the traffic, so ended up not heading over there. But I did place an order from the folks over at J. Corwin Lures, and that came in a few days ago, so we're going to get right into this. As you guys can tell, I did kind of take a look in here, but it came in a few days ago, and I've already kind of forgotten what I've ordered. Plus, it seems like they may have thrown in a couple extra things for me that I didn't order. So we're going to go through the box real quick, and I'll show you guys what I got. So first up, I did not order this, but they were nice enough to toss in a sweet little hat right there. We got ourselves a little black and camo hat. I've never seen a hat like that. It's got like this leather patch on the front. It says J. Corbin Lawrence with a little bass on it. That's pretty sick. And then like the front of it is black, but the top up here is camo, which is really interesting. The whole thing's just kind of like this army green. That's pretty sick. Hang on, I'm gonna put this on actually. All right, that's pretty sick. I feel like that looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to look at myself in the mirror in a little bit, but I kind of like that. I feel like that looks kind of dope. Yeah, again, didn't order this, but super big shout out to the guys over at J. Corbin Lawrence. Really appreciate you all sending this over. I will certainly be wearing this in the future. Alright, so we got a ton of baits to go through, but we're just gonna run through these real quick. First and foremost, I got one of these, which you guys aren't going to be able to tell what this is until I pull it out, but this is actually one of their beluga shorties. I grabbed a friggin' knife for this. They taped the box shut to make sure it didn't come out, but this is one of their spinner baits. I actually had a couple of these. I lost one of them, and the other one is somewhere in my tackle boxes, but I don't really know where. But anyway, I don't know where either of them are. Well, I guess one of them's at the bottom of the lake, but the other one I don't know where it is, so regardless, I'm out of the belugas. So I picked up just one more, just because they are a little bit pricey, but look at that little thing. So the beluga shorties, as the name would suggest, are a little short, small profile spinnerbait. So it's actually about a ½ ounce. It's got this big old Colorado blade on it, just a single Colorado blade. And it comes with a little bit of a longer skirt, but you can trim that down a little bit. The overall presentation and profile, though, is pretty small. There it is compared to my hands, and I don't really have big hands. But yeah, it's a pretty small presentation. You can burn these things, you can slow roll them. They got great action, a great thump, regardless of what you do with them. And they call this color runt. It's just kind of like an off-white with some gray in there. It's really interesting. It's like a two-tone skirt and like a white and gray head. Really natural, just kind of like a shad or baitfish kind of color. The gray skirt's kind of got like a bluish iridescence to it as well, which is sweet, but really, really good looking color there. I'm stoked to throw that around. But yeah, just wanted to grab myself one more of those because I love throwing a spinnerbait, especially coming up here in the fall. This is going to be an absolute killer, I have a feeling. And yeah, I feel like this thing's going to get some use here in the next couple of weeks, but got ourselves a nice little spinnerbait to throw around. Alright, everything else that I got is going to be soft plastic, so we're just going to kind of run through them. Start off with this one. I just got one pack of these. These are their mongrels, which is their 3.5 inch like jig trailer cross style bait. There's that for you. The reason I got these, even though I have a few packs of them, is because this is a new color that I didn't scoop before. This is their blue craw color, which is very similar to any other blue craw. It's just got some small red flake in it, which I really, really like. And yeah, other than that, just kind of like a green pumpkin with that little bit of blue iridescence. Again, just a color I don't have, so I figured I may as well pick one up since I'm making a big order. I've thrown the mongrels around a good bit, used them as a jig trailer, used them just straight on like a Texas rig or a shaky head. They just get bit. They're super, super lifelike, super finessey as well. Fantastic for like really, really clear water. It's just got like those really thin, like undulating claws and appendages. Don't have a huge kick to them, but they do have like a good little bit of action. And if a fish comes up and looks at it, that little bit of extra water movement will actually make those claws move a little bit, make it look super, super natural and lifelike. Again, not like a really, really in-your-face presentation, but a little bit more of like a subtle craw and jig trailer. I really, really like these things. Alright, next up we've got ourselves just a ton of packs of their 5.7 inch size creep. Their creep is their finesse worm. I used the 5.7 inch creep at the beginning of this year and went through all of them in like 2 weeks. I only had like 2 or 3 packs of them, and again, I went through them in like a couple of weeks, so figured I'd stock up on a few more for this coming fall and spring and winter, and pretty much whenever I want to use these things because they get bit all times of the year. But yeah, like I said, the creep is their finesse worm. They got 2 different sizes. They got the 6.5 inch size, which I still have a couple of packs of. I don't find myself using a 6.5 inch size finesse worm all too much, especially not compared to the little bit smaller 5.7 inch. I feel like the fish around here like a little bit smaller, a little bit more downsized presentation. I find a lot of companies make a 4 3/4 inch size, which is like the smaller size finesse worm that Zoom makes, and a lot of companies make that 6 to 6.5 inch size, but this is just a little bit smaller, a little bit more bite-sized, and a great in-between size for stuff like that, which is why I kind of started picking these up. And ever since I started throwing them, I fell in love with them. So we got a whole bunch of different packs, a whole bunch of different colors. We're just going to run through them real quick. First up, we got the Mudbug color, which is like a green pumpkin with some orange and green flake in it. Super, super cool looking color there. Then we got the Bullfrog color, which is kind of like a green pumpkin, red flake on top, and then more of like a green, just like a yellowish green on the bottom. It's a really interesting color. I've never really seen something like that, but I saw it and thought it looked really interesting. So picked us up a pack of that. Got a pack of the black neon, which is just black with red flake. Everybody knows black neon. Great dirty watercolor, so just grabbed me a pack of those. Got ourselves a pack of the Cali 420, which is another classic color that everybody knows. Just like a darker watermelon red on top, and then like a lighter watermelon seed on the bottom. Then we got another really interesting color called lettuce. It's kind of like a watermelon with green and blue flake on top, and then like a green pumpkin with black flake on the bottom. Another really interesting color I haven't seen before, had to pick those ones up. Then we got the Mardi Gras color, which is like a green pumpkin with a bunch of different flake in it. Got some purple, got some green, got some red, got some gold. Pretty much whatever color of flake you could think of is in this worm. And then last up we got the Junebug red color, which is, as the name would suggest, Junebug with red flake in it. I really like the J. Corwin Junebug red flake because it not only has the red flake in it, but it also has some of that like bluish green flake that's normally in a Junebug. You don't always see that in a Junebug red. Sometimes they just substitute it for a red flake, but this one they decided to throw both of them in on that really dark Junebug color, and I really like that. Alrighty folks, and this is the main reason that I decided to make this order, besides to just stock up on my creep selection as well, but I saw that they came out with a brand new bait, and I had to get myself a few packs of them. They call this thing the Mule. It's more of like a kick and crawl or like creature style bait. It's really interesting looking. It's got a very similar body to the Mongrel, which is again their little jig trailer bait, but it's got these two smaller appendages on the side, a little bit longer of a body section, and then these two big kickers on the back. So again, it's a little bit more of like a creature style bait, a little bit more of a kick and crawl style profile, as opposed to that Mongrel, which in my opinion is more of like a chunk or like a jig trailer style bait. The Mongrels will have less action and a little bit more of a profile, a little bit more natural, a little more lifelike, whereas these are going to be a little bit better for maybe the warmer months. If you're flipping in like the spring, the summer, the earlier fall, these are going to be absolutely killer, I have a feeling. And again, we're right around the corner from fall. Actually, it's the middle of September when I'm filming this part of the video at least. And yeah, it should be a perfect time to get these things on the water and see what we can do with them. Maybe do some flipping up shallow on some wood and stuff, but I am really excited to throw these things around at some point. But yeah, like I said, brand new bait, so we got 5 packs to play around with. I try to get a good selection of like some darker colors as well as some more natural colors just to fish for any clarity of water. First up, we got Black Blue Sapphire, which is a black and blue flake on top and then more of like a blue sapphire on the bottom. Really interesting color, great for dirty water. Then again, we got a pack of the Bullfrog color, which is again that green pumpkin red on top and then more of that lighter green on the bottom. Looks really good in this cross style bait as well. Got some more of the Cali 420 color, which again is that darker watermelon red on top and then like a lighter watermelon seed on the bottom. We got some of the Black Neon, which again is just black with red. Again, another dirty water color. And then last up, we got a pack of the Blue Crawl, which I guess they came out with this color along with this bait. That's why they also started making the Mongrel in that color. So again, picked up some of the Mongrels in that color. And you know I had to pick up some of the Mules in this color as well. Just looks so good. Again, it's just that green pumpkin with like that blue swirl and a little bit of red flake in there as well. But yeah, that's my whole J. Corwin Lures order. Again, I didn't have enough stuff to like make a full unboxing video on it, so I figured I'd just tack it along at the end of this video. But super big shout out to the folks over at J. Corwin Lures for the fresh new hat. I'm definitely going to be wearing this thing some more in the future. And I'm super stoked to get some of these new baits in the water. You guys are probably going to be seeing these things coming up here in the next few days. Or I guess next few weeks, probably, since I don't upload all that often. But you guys will definitely be seeing these things at some point in the future. But yeah, really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see some more content from me. Check them and wreck them, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.